All right, so technical difficulties on a tech channel. It's bound to happen. I gotta redo some of these shots now, but welcome. All right, let's get into it. In today's video, I'm going to go over the new DJI Action 5 Pro camera that just came out, right? So we actually got it in a few days ago, but I recorded something, screwed that up, and here we are again. So I'm going to show you what comes in the box and how I use it personally. I'm outdoors. That's what you buy an action camera for, and we're gonna shoot from it straight out of the box. I'm gonna show you, like I said, what comes in it, the stuff that I buy for it, use with it. If you guys are interested in what's in my filming gear case, it's what I carry as far as mics, cameras, accessories. You can check out that video. I'll link it down below. But today's video is all about the Osmo Action 5 Pro by DJI. All right, and just real quick, I'm going to show some clips and comparisons because I do have the Action 4 as well from DJI that I bought last year. And I'll show what I had with that one. I had a case on it, a little rig for it, and it did really well. I'm excited for the DJI Action 5 because of a few upgrades. Now, they might seem minor, but they're going to make a big difference if you do any of the content that I kind of do. You shoot outside, you're doing content at work, filming yourself if you're in the trades or any outside activities. So this, and I had compared it, and they're marked on the outside. It is the same sensor in the new Action 5. So you're not getting a different camera, so to speak. It's everything that is built into it, and that 4 nanometer chip that they have in that does a lot of processing and stuff behind inside the camera that it just blows the last one out of the water. So it still has that 1/1.3 sensor, right? So that is going to give you plenty of light in almost any situation that you have. 2 OLED screens now makes it very visible outside in the sun. That's very important to me. They've added 48 gigabytes of storage internally without an SD card. So you guys can record. If you forget your SD cards, it's happened to me plenty of times. I leave it plugged into the computer and you can record. Mind you, it's only 48 gigs, but at 48 gigs, you can get quite a bit of, you can get like a few clips. It's like an hour and 45 minutes of 4K at 30 frames per second. You can get 2 hours and 55 minutes if you drop it down to 1080p, 30 frames per second. If you guys are filming with these or any camera, 30 frames per second, if you guys are not sure, that is usually a safe point. If you go to 60 frames or anything like that, if the camera allows it, it starts to look a little weird and motion's very different. So I always keep it at 30 frames. I've myself have chosen to go 4K. And I've said it before, I like the little 4K badge. I like to get more quality in the shots, but you're going to have obviously bigger size on the file. So just keep that in mind. And they've added a 0.3 second quick record. So, all right, you click it, it's already recording. I have to update this stupid thing. Excuse me while I have to update my my new camera. All right, take 2. So Action 5, I click the button and 0.3 seconds it's recording. And the cool feature with that is it'll shut itself off if you stop the recording. So if I have the Action 4 here, hit the record with it off. Pretty quick too. You know what? Oh, I don't know why you get this little rubber ring around the lens now, but I'm going to lose it. I'll just take it off. The old one, you could unscrew it and remove the lens to either replace it or put a different lens on there. The new one has these flat sides on it. So I don't know if you need a tool because I can't get that lens off. But this one goes underwater a lot deeper than the Action 4, and that's probably part of the waterproofing. And if you guys had any of these ND filters, still learning how to use them, it's not plug and play. You got to adjust your brightness and all that, your exposure. Essentially, you're turning up the exposure and putting like a sunglass tint over it just to get some better motion blur and for it to look a little more cinema-like. But if you have any of these that fit on the 4, they technically fit on the 5 once you take off that little rubber protector or whatever that is. Quick comparison on the 5 and the 4. You got a much bigger button, power button, much bigger record button, and this is way more tactile, I noticed, than this one. It was a little hard to push sometimes. And the screen, if I can turn them both on, the 5 here, much bigger screen all around, and you had a side chin on this one. The front seems to be very much the same, but those OLED screens make a big difference. Another upgrade is going to be the battery system. So this one's actually marked 1950 milliamp hour batteries. They are just a little bit better compared to, it had a 1770 milliamp in the previous ones. And you got your USB-C port on the other end with the power button. These are removable from what I remember. So these doors can come off. Obviously you lose the waterproof, but depending on how you use it, these are removable, which I think is cool, the doors, because I used a case on mine, and to kind of make it work for what I needed to, I was able to remove the doors and fit it in, you know, a case like this. So more on this later. I'll show you that later in the video as far as what that can do, and I'll link something similar to it in the description, because the one that it comes with, wasn't a big fan of it because it's just like spring loaded. You throw the camera in there and then you squeeze it closed, right? So that's your case that it comes with. Wish they would give you something with a door, and the only thing that this case gives you is the little side mount there. So you also get a magnetic mount that you can put on a tripod or anything like that if you have the right adapter. And the case is going to give you the ability to mount it for portrait video. So if you guys do TikToks, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, you can take advantage of the vertical videos. If you guys want to use a high quality camera or do a lot of outside activities, you don't want to use your phone, you can use a Action 5 Pro or any of the other ones. It also comes with a sticky pad. I think this is like for helmets and stuff. So you would be able to put those together. But I usually get an adapter that gives me the threaded part to put on a tripod. So a combination of the 1950 milliamp hour battery that comes with it now, with the processing power of that 4 nanometer chip that's inside. That's a new part of it. Processing power for dynamic range is better, and stuff that it does under the hood is going to give you way more battery life. You're going to get what is it, 3.5 hours on 4K 30 frames, and you're going to get 4 hours if you drop that down to 1080p with that battery there. And you can buy, I would recommend their combo pack. I don't know if it's the Action combo, but you get a selfie stick, the battery packs with extra batteries, and kind of makes it the necessities that you would need. And I bought only the camera by itself for a reason. I'll show you why at the end of the video, but let me show you now the footage directly off of these two, and you can be the judge for yourself. I should have brought my selfie stick if I had been mindful. So we're shooting on the DJI Action 4. Now I'm using the audio straight from the camera as well. Factory settings on this, so I reset it. And just out of the box, how does the Action 4 look and sound? And we're driving around in the truck down the street, and I got to pick up a few things, but typically an action camera doesn't do too well in low light, which the DJI does do better than some, but in shadow areas, darker areas, the contrast is not good, and either one of two things happens: it gets really bad quality, or the darks are too dark, right? So how does it look? Flip it around so you can see the outside here. But yeah, and the audio, again, flipping back and forth. I'm shooting in 4K 30. That's typically what I shoot in. You can honestly go down to 1080p, it'll still look good, but 4K 30, how does the DJI Action 4 sound and look? How does the DJI 5 Pro look in comparison? Like I said, typically we have really bad, if we have really bad lighting, doesn't do too well. Now these are action cameras. They do great in outdoor environments. So I do a lot of work related things where I'm outside and all that. So that's where it's gonna do the best. This OLED screen looks incredible though. I don't know if it's the OLED screen or the dynamic range on it in general, but if it looks better, sounds better. I also have the audio straight from the Action 5 Pro. How does it sound? How does it look? I will flip you around. That screen makes a big difference, and if it actually looks like that when I go back and look at the footage, that's gonna be wild. So going back to light to dark, let's see how it handles that. But yeah, DJI Action 5 audio and video, 4K 30 frames per second. What do you think? We have the 4 as our baseline, and now we have the 5. Is it enough of a difference for you to either upgrade or just go out and get the 5? All right, harsh sun conditions, right? I'm out. I think this is when they look best, but harsh sun condition, sun facing me. And then with the sun peeking behind me. Like I said, I don't know if it's the OLED or the actual camera itself. We'll see which one does better. All right, so here we have straight video and audio from the DJI Action 4. We're gonna be testing it. You can see the quality of it. And now we're gonna switch over to the DJI Action 5 Pro. These are video and audio straight from the camera themselves. Nothing's been added, no mics or color grading or anything. This is just straight from it. And sun is behind me. This will be the harshest shadow conditions here. So what do you guys think? The 4 or the 5 Pro? All right, and now I'm gonna do straight from the camera again, but now the sun is in front of me. This should give me more lighting. So we got the Action 4 quality, probably still have some shadows, and then our other camera, the Action 5 Pro. I feel like I'm getting way more dynamic range. How's the audio too? Right now I'll hook up a mic so you can see the difference between the two cameras, and then mic'd up after the fact. All right, and now we are mic'd up, so I'm going to show you the quality you can get with a wireless mic. I prefer the DJI microphone, the wireless set. So I got 2 mics, receiver. The good thing is, if you're in the ecosystem, like anything, like with Apple, DJI has an ecosystem to where you can use their mics without any receiver. So there's nothing plugged into the camera.
I can also just record without a camera, or if I want to record the audio separately, because you do get added benefits and better quality if you record it on board on the mic, because it has memory on it. But if you just want to link it up, I have it linked up to the Action 4 right now. We're going to pull the audio off of it, but this is what it sounds like when you have a wireless mic. I'll compare it to the Action 5 Pro, but I would recommend a mic if you're outdoors, if it's windy a lot, things like that, because this sounds much more basically professional, right? If we're watching a YouTube video or anything like that, if the audio is nice and crisp, I think it helps your video out that much more, you know? So this is our low light test. This is my work van. It is nighttime right now. Obviously just the lights in my van. And I noticed if they've been off for a while, because I did that test earlier, but they were both on. If they've been off for a while and then you hit the record button, it is a 3 to 4 second difference. If you had just turned it off and then turned it back on, like if you're doing multiple clips throughout the day, it'll start up just as quick as the 5, talking about the 4. But on a cold start, like they've been off for a while, it's a 34 second difference. And the Action 4 is trying to do like a low light enhancement right now, but I can still see the difference on the screen. And now facing me, this is the low light test in the work van out here at night. Let me walk over this way. There is a floodlight that is facing me across the yard over there. So this is our low light test over there. So this is our low light test. All right. So hopefully that helps you with your decision. Now, as far as like why I bought only the camera instead of buying the whole combo kit again, I already have a bunch of stuff that I bought for the Action 4 that I can use on the Action 5. So the battery pack that I was telling you, DJI sells this, that you can have 3 batteries charging at the same time. You just got to keep the case charged via USB-C there. So if I take one of the old ones out, right, it's not marked or anything. This is from the last generation of batteries. We take out the 1950 milliamp hour battery. Let's see, does it work with the older batteries? We're going to pop that one in. That's the old one. And can boot it up. And sure enough, you can use older batteries on the new Action 5. So if you already bought the combo kit last year, or, you know, you bought one of these recently, you can still use those batteries. It's not going to be the same capacity. Those are 1770 milliamp. This is a 1950 that it comes with. So you can do that. Also, like I said, I don't like the cases that it comes with, right? So you can find some cases like this one, which is a more of a metal frame, doesn't add too much weight to it. But what I like about this one is it doesn't just squeeze onto your case. There's an actual door, right? Now I'm gonna shove the Action 5 in there. They're almost identical in size. I think the only issue is they made the buttons bigger. So that kind of runs into that frame that goes around it that would have been a cutout for a smaller button, right? So that was a significantly smaller button on the old ones. That's the only issue that I had with it. It still closes. It'll latch. And you got your camera in a metal case. I don't know if I'm going to use it again. But what was cool about it was
If you guys have the DJI mics, whichever generation, there's two generations. These are magnetic. So if I take the magnet that comes on it off, like I said, this is metal. You can hook up a mic system to it with your, if you're outside, use the wind muff that comes with it. And you got a little rig there. Also, I'm going to take the light that I have off to the side here and remove it. You have that cold shoe mount on top. So you can mount a light on your case. So that's why I said that it was kind of like a little all-in-one rig for that. And before, because now the mics, you can hook up directly to the camera. The Action 5 actually allows you to hook up both mics that come in the kit. If you get the kit with the two mics, you can actually hook up both mics. So if you're interviewing somebody, you're walking around talking to people, you can have them and yourself mic'd up. But before they did an update where you could wirelessly, hook these up, you had to use a receiver. So this is a receiver, and it's a USB-C plug or Lightning if you plug it into an older iPhone. And that door right there is where it was. With this case, I was trying to make sure that I had one that I could plug in my receiver to, right? So it's the light, the receiver, or just putting the mic directly on the side. And it's your little professional rig. You got a light, you got a mic, everything that you would need. And this also, like the other case that came with it, is going to give you the option to mount it sideways, because it does work with their mounts. All right, so here's the Action 5 Pro, the one that it comes with. I feel like you do have to get it on there kind of snug to get it on there right, but that's what it comes with. It uses the same identical mount as everything that I have for my 4. So like I said, usually I get like the adapter. This is something you would see on the GoPro, right? The thumb screw deal. You get the adapter with it, but it's magnetic. So you can hook it up to a tripod of any sort. This happens to be a DJI one. And on the Action 5, it hooks up directly to any of the 4 accessories that I have. So I wish it would give you something that you could thread onto the bottom, but like also with this case, whereas the old, or the one that it comes with, gives you for the magnetic mount, this one also gives you that threaded part. So technically you can clip it onto something, but if you have a tripod set up, like if you're doing, like I said, anything TikTok or anything like that, you can also thread that on there and use a traditional tripod right there. So you can do it a couple different ways if you get the right case for it. And that new 1950 battery in the last generation charger here, it does fit and it does recognize it. So you can charge the newest batteries or the last generation batteries if you have this year's or last year's charging case. You can mix up your batteries. So that's good to know. I don't have to buy everything new. I'm going to probably offload the old camera. I'll put it up for sale and then keep all the accessories that I accumulated for that camera to use on the new Action 5 Pro. All right, and really quickly, if you guys are wondering what it looks like as a webcam with the lighting that I had in here for the Osmo, I'll do a quick back and forth. Osbot Meet 2 webcam, Osmo Action 5 Pro. And then as expected, this is the Action 4. It can't handle like the bad lighting or the darks and shadows and stuff compared to the other one. And again, for comparison, this is what the Osbot 4K webcam looks like. And then we're gonna go back to the Action 4. This is kind of why I don't use it in a studio session or type of environment. Is I'd rather have a dedicated camera that gives me like a studio look. All right, so I put my other light back up and you can see it makes a big difference. Just if you're going to use an action camera as a webcam, just make sure you have adequate lighting. It's always about the lighting. All right, so I just saw a feature browsing around the settings. It says it comes with audio backup, right? So if you have a wireless mic and for whatever reason it doesn't work, it disconnects, loses battery, right? It turns off, or you just drop it. I don't know what the sound like is. If I'm assuming I have another track to pick from that should be the audio straight from the camera. So if I'm close enough, it should sound relatively good. But you know, your battery dies on the mic, whatever happens, receivers, anything like that. So let's see what the backup audio sounds like and how that works. So here is the video that I just took, and it gives you this extra wave file, which is the audio straight from the camera. So we're gonna play this one, and then I'll swap in this file to replace the bad audio that we simulated. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I think I went over everything I need to. Also, if you guys are gonna have this on a tripod and be walking around, doing something in the studio of some sort, let's say you you have a wide shot and you have stuff behind you that you need to point to, walk back and forth between, you know, like a table of some sort, and you want it to track you with that new chip. It does do subject tracking, which is what the 4K webcam I showed on the Osbot does. It punches in and then it kind of moves around with you for that artificial type of tracking. So if you guys are interested, go check out that review on that camera. I kind of go over it there. I kind of show it there. And if you guys have any other questions, let me know. And you know, speaking of setups, I will probably go over my podcast setup, my desk setup, all that kind of stuff in future videos, the mics that I use, all that kind of stuff. So remember to like, comment, subscribe if you're new here. Please, you know, have notifications on, all that stuff, because I'm going to be posting quite a bit. And yeah, see you guys.